So you want to learn to play the guitar, but you aren't sure how. That's okay, because I'll show you. First, you're going to need to get a guitar. If you don't have one, you're going to have difficulties learning how to play one, so I'd recommend going to get one. Next, for the song I'm going to teach you today, you're going to need a capo. After that, since you're new to guitar playing, I wouldn't recommend playing with your fingers because your fingers are going to hurt at the end of the day. I'd recommend starting out using a guitar pick. So make sure your guitar's in tune, and then once you have your guitar in tune, all you need is the guitar, a capo, and a guitar pick, and we're going to be ready to play Stand By Me by Ben King. Okay, now that we have all of our materials, the first thing we do is we take our capo, and we take this long side right here, and we face that towards the fretboard, open the capo, and we place it on the second fret of the guitar. Notice from the neck of the guitar, 1, 2. And make sure you place it close to that metal piece so that it acts right to raise the pitch of our guitar. Notice, that's how strumming without holding a chord sounds with the capo, and without it, it's a lot deeper. So make sure you're kind of close to that fret, and you put your capo on the second fret of your guitar. Okay, the first chord you need to know for this song is the G major chord. This involves taking your second finger, or your middle finger, putting it in the second fret from the capo on the 5th string. And when you do that, you count the strings from the bottom up. So this bottom string is the 1st string, and this top string is the 6th string. So your middle finger is in the 2nd fret on the 5th string, your ring finger is on the 6th string in the 3rd fret, and your pinky comes down and hits the 1st string, also in the 3rd fret. And that chord, with your capo on, should sound like this. Okay, the second chord you need to know for this song is an E minor chord. This involves taking your second finger, or your middle finger, putting it on the 5th string in the 2nd fret, and taking your ring finger and placing it under it, also in the 2nd fret, onto the 4th string. And that chord should sound like this. The next chord you need to know for this song is the C chord. That involves taking your first or pointer finger, putting it on the 2nd string in the 1st fret, your middle finger or your second finger, putting it on the 4th string in the 2nd fret, and your ring or your 3rd finger goes on the 5th string in the 3rd fret. Now the key to this chord is that instead of strumming all 6 strings like you do in the E minor or G chords, is you only strum the 1st through the 5th string, skipping that 6th string that is closest to you. And it sounds like this. The final chord you're going to need for this song is a D chord. To make the D chord, you take your first finger, put it on the 3rd string in the 2nd fret, and you take your second or middle finger, put it on the 1st string, also in the 2nd fret. Then you take your 3rd or ring finger, put it on the 2nd string in the 3rd fret, and you skip the 5th and the 6th string, and you only strum the 1st through the 4th string. And so it sounds like this.
Yay!
Okay, now it's time to learn the strum pattern, which Stand By Me has a pretty easy strum pattern. For the most part, it's just 8th notes, which means in one beat, you go down and then back up. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But the one difference between the standard 8th notes and Stand By Me is instead of that standard rhythm, it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you make sure you kind of hesitate before you hit that fourth note, and make sure you hit it just a little louder than you did the other three downbeats. And then you're ready to play Stand By Me by Ben King on the guitar. Okay, now you know everything you need to know to be able to play Stand By Me by Ben King on the guitar. Now, for those who aren't already versed in playing the guitar and are kind of slow at changing chords, I'm going to play it slow so you can follow along with me. In the end, it should sound like this. And to play the rest of the song, you just take the chord progression that I just showed you, and you just repeat it along to the beat until the song ends. And that's all of Stand By Me by Ben King on the guitar. Now you can play it too. Congratulations.